Despite the difficult situation Syria is going through, it is still the backbone of the resistance bloc to the Israeli occupation. This was affirmed from Damascus by the leaders of the Palestinian Hamas movement, together with their compatriots, the heads of the Palestinian faction living on Syrian soil. Let's see.
These statements were made at a meeting at the headquarters of the Palestinian National Council in Damascus between the leaders of the Syrian-based Palestinian factions and the delegation of the Palestinian Islamic Resistance Movement, Hamas, which is on the official visit to Syria, to express its solidarity with the Syrian people after the earthquake, as well as to discuss with the Syrian authorities the development of events inside Palestine amid the aggressive escalation of a new Israeli extremist cabinet.
We are again in Damascus to express our solidarity with Syria and our condolences to the victims of the earthquake, as well as to analyze our political situation with the Syrian leadership in order to assess with our fellow fighters from other Palestinian factions the scenario occupied by Palestine in a new wave of resistance against the current Zionist government.
In addition to expressing solidarity with the Syrian people, chiefs and militants of the Palestinian factions gathered in the heart of Damascus, together with their Syrian brothers from various political parties and from civil society, to condemn the Western economic blockade imposed on Syria, which they denounce exacerbates the suffering of the Syrian people in the midst of the devastating crisis caused by the earthquake.
On behalf of the Palestinian people, the resistance factions, and the Syrian and Palestinian political parties, we demand the lifting of the blockade imposed on Syria, and we condemn that this blockade increases the suffering of the Syrian people after the earthquake, and call on the United Nations to pressure in order to lift the coercive measures and not give in to American hegemonic policies.
We condemn the Western coercive measures which caused suffering on the Syrian people for more than 12 years and call on the United Nations and other international organizations to take responsibility and lift this blockade, whose continuation constitutes crime against humanity.
We want to spread our voice to the whole world to help us lift the unjust Western blockade imposed on Syria, as Syria is tired of suffering so much because of the blockade and war and now because of the earthquake. So the situation is catastrophic, and we can no longer stand it, and we need help of the whole world to lift the blockade.
The Syrians and their Palestinian brothers face a common enemy which they have condemned for 12 years and which uses terrorism and blockade as a means to weaken Syria and consequently the entire resistance bloc, a goal they affirm can never be achieved, thanks to the steadfastness of the leadership army and people of Syria against the Western plans against them.
Hisham Wannous, teleSUR, Damascus, Syria.